Trevor Bauer traded. Jim breaks down the Indians' big deal. CBD, what it is, its effects, and the potential for big business in Ohio. What you need to know about the just legalized cannabidiol. Democrats debate night one of back-to-back showdowns. Watch the presidential candidates battle it out. License plate push, the new effort to scrap the plan to require only one on your car. We want to know what you think on WKYC.com. Show of support, how officers from the Cleveland Police Department have come together to help one of their own battling cancer. Good evening. The Tribe trade news breaking within the hour.
Indians pitcher Trevor Bauer is gone. Jimmy Donovan here now with more. Jimmy, a wild night on several fronts.
It is a big night as the trade deadline comes up tomorrow at 4. The Indians beat the deadline with a huge deal. I never thought they would do this deal. The only way they would trade Trevor Bauer is if they got a lot in return, and a lot of people around baseball tonight feel they did get that in return. A bundle. But Bauer is gone. He goes to Cincinnati. The Indians, Reds, and San Diego Padres make a 3-team deal. Let's go inside the deal. Bauer leaves 9-8. And of course, the word was that the Indians front office had become increasingly frustrated and had had enough after what happened on Sunday afternoon in Kansas City when he took the ball and hurled it over the center field fence in Kauffman Stadium. Incidentally, he was notified this afternoon by Major League Baseball that he had been fined. The amount had not been given. So he is off to Cincinnati. Here's what the Indians get in return from the Reds. They get the power-hitting right fielder, Yasiel Puig, who broke in with the Dodgers and spent 94 games this year in Cincinnati with the Reds. A cannon for an arm in right field, but a big bat, too. 22 home runs. He hit .255. But if you thought Bauer ran hot sometimes, well, just about an hour and a half ago, Puig was part of this scene in Pittsburgh. Not here, but it's a brawl between the Pirates and the Reds, and Puig became involved in that. Every member of each team becomes involved in that, and Puig ran hot. There he is right there, and that has been a bit of a problem in his years in Los Angeles with the Dodgers and his 3/4 of a year in Cincinnati. But he becomes part of the deal coming to Cleveland. Here's the shakedown on the deal, the way it looks. So the Indians get Yasiel Puig, and then from San Diego, they get a 22-year-old left-handed pitcher, Logan Allen. They also get a power-hitting 24-year-old right-handed hitting outfielder, Franmil Reyes, who has 27 home runs this season as a member of the Padres. And let me add, that is not an easy park to hit home runs in out in San Diego. The Padres acquire Taylor Trammell. So there's the breakdown of the deal. Now, baseball knowledge is that you would never, ever trade away a pitcher, in particular a guy like Bauer, when you're in a pennant race, and the Indians are in a pennant race right now. But the frustration with his quirky behavior, the fact that he was only going to do one-year deals, you were never going to get him to a long-term deal, and the fact that the Indians tonight have changed their posture. They wanted power hitting in the outfield, and they get two big bats coming to them and a left-handed pitcher, and that made it all work.
Well, so you see, you're not surprised when you break it all down that way.
Yeah, when you look at what they got in return, that's the baseball side of it. Now, the behavior side of it was, I can see they were embarrassed, they were frustrated, these things kept happening. He could be wonderful, Bauer I'm speaking of, and he could be a pain in the neck, okay? And that was that part of it. But the baseball part makes sense. They need more power hitting. They only got 2 hits tonight. We'll talk more about that in a couple of minutes. They need some power hitting in the outfield, and it looks like they got it.
All right, Jimmy, we'll see you soon. Thank you very much. We spoke with fans immediately after the trade to get their thoughts. Here's what they had to say.
I'm sad to see Bauer go, but we really need a hitter like Puig, so maybe we can make a run this year.
Bauer had a good run here, and I think that he is somebody that just kind of blew his top, and I think it was time. I think it was time for him, and I think he felt that way. His performance this year hasn't been as strong as it has in the previous years. He started off strong, but has since kind of dipped, and not that he's lost his edge. He's a great pitcher, and I'd love to have him here still. I think he's somebody that could help us out long term.
After his annex the other day, I thought maybe other teams would lose interest in him because but I guess people are going to look beyond that, and he'll be a good pitcher for some other club.
Again, Jimmy, we'll have more later in sports. Also, we put a story together for you on WKYC.com.
Well, with the stroke of a pen, cannabidiol is now legal in the state of Ohio. But what exactly is this compound that most know as CBD? Can it get you high? And what does it mean for business potential in the state? Lena Lai explains it all.
Let's get this often confusing part out of the way. Marijuana can get you high. Its plant cousin, hemp, cannot. It has 0.3% or less of THC, the chemical that makes you high.
And both contain cannabidiol, also known as CBD.
Hemp-derived CBD products are booming. CBD lotion, CBD water, and beer. A market research firm predicts the CBD industry could be a $22 billion market by 2022. And so when Governor Mike DeWine signed the law making hemp legal,
It feels better than Christmas.
your CBD store in Mentor's Great Lakes Mall couldn't be more thrilled. Yeah, you've likely seen CBD products already sold in Ohio, technically against the law until now.
The pain cream in particular is very, very effective.
CBD has been used for inflammation, chronic pain, seizures, and anxiety in humans and pets.
You put it under your tongue and hold it for about 30 seconds and then swallow it.
CBD tinctures or extract can run anywhere from $40 to $100 depending on the strength. And because there's no FDA regulation yet, consumers need to know you can't be sure what you're getting. Our sister station in Charlotte sent 5 randomly purchased bottles of CBD to a lab, which found the amount of THC per bottle ranging from 0.027 milligrams, an insignificant amount by lab standards, to 30.5 milligrams, which may be detectable by a drug dog or test. But until research and regulations are in place, consumers be diligent. Lena Lai, Channel 3 News.
And out of politics, it was debate night. Tonight, 10 of the 20 Democratic presidential candidates battled it out in Detroit. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Democratic candidates for President of the United States.
From the start, the 10 Democratic hopefuls took aim at President Trump.
Donald Trump disgraces the office of president every single day.
And each other.
You don't know that, Second of all, I do know, and I wrote the damn bill.
Much of the focus on the 2 progressive senators standing at the center of the stage, the other candidates labeling them out of touch and unelectable.
Folks, we have a choice. We can go down the road that Senator Sanders and Senator Warren want to take us with bad policies like Medicare for all, free everything, and impossible promises.
But the frontrunners on night 1 stood their ground.
You know, I don't understand why anybody goes to all the trouble of running for president of the United States just to talk about what we really can't do and shouldn't fight for.
The back and forth continued over health care, immigration, gun control, the climate, and other hot-button issues, the only topic all 10 seemed to agree on.
Anyone on this stage tonight or tomorrow night would be a far better president. I promise no matter who our candidate is, I will work my heart out to beat Donald Trump.
But right now, the debate continues over just who that candidate will be. Jay Gray, NBC News, Detroit.
Well, next summer, Ohio is set to join more than a dozen states that require only a back license plate. But now, some in Columbus are pushing to reinstate the law that requires a front plate as well. So what's your take? Is that a good idea? You can weigh in at WKYC.com/vote now. Tiffany Tarpley explains the 2 schools of thought.
The front plate debate is back in Ohio. Let's break down 2 sides for you right now. One from law enforcement.
Removing the front license plate will make our work harder, make it easier for criminals to succeed.
The other from the automotive industry.
To me, this conversation is something that our parents had and really isn't something we should be talking about now.
Michael Herrick is the CEO of Liberty Auto Group.
The more legislation that goes into a car, the more expensive it is to make. So if you put a big metal bracket in front of it that's unnecessary, guess what? We're going to have to spend more money on putting the sensors you need in the front of it.
Those sensors are on newer vehicles with newer technology. He believes law enforcement can tap into some of it and use what he believes are more modern ways to identify who is driving a car.
It's old school technology, and I understand why law enforcement needs it because they have old school tools of catching people.
These license plate readers are on police vehicles. but they are also on quite a few civilian vehicles, tow trucks and trash trucks. So they're constantly capturing the locations of these vehicles.
Officers say their line of work can be dangerous and difficult, and sometimes traffic stops are the best way to deter crime.
Don't take those tools away from us to get those who wish to do us harm. And that's what this front license plate is going to do if we don't keep it. We're losing these tools.
As of now, you won't need a front license plate starting next July, but those two senators have introduced this bill that could change that. There are also reports that getting rid of the front plate would save the state more than $1 million per year. Sarah.
Wow. All right. It's going to be interesting, Tiffany. Thanks. Let's check in on our interactive question now. So we asked if you think that the drivers should have to have both front and back license plates. Most of you right now, 76% saying no.
Tonight, backing the blue.
Officers are rallying behind one of their own as he battles for his life.
Betsy Clingan, it's hard to believe that tomorrow is the last day of July.
I know, and what a great transition it's been from June. Remember, we were so wet in June. We've actually had some tastes of summer this month. Looking ahead to the start of next month, though, it's going to be a little bit of a cooler pattern. We'll talk about that and how it shakes out in your forecast straight ahead.
Channel 3 News at 11 is brought to you by Window Nation, online at windownation.com.
Welcome back. In May, we met Sergeant Brian Pfeiffer, a 20-year veteran of the Cleveland Division of Police who was working through his battle with cancer.
Tonight, an update from Channel 3's Lindsey Buckingham, who tells us Sergeant Pfeiffer has stepped away from his job. His fight intensifies as the community comes together to help.
It's a tall order right now, so we're just gonna keep pushing.
I'm gonna work until the Grim Reaper drags me out of there kicking and screaming.
This is Sergeant Brian Pfeiffer and his wife Jennifer back in May, talking about the battle of their lives. He kept working, determined to beat his tongue and throat cancer.
Gotta keep moving forward.
Today, Brian is still fighting, but the cancer hasn't backed down. Putting all their strength into health and family, the Pfeiffers had to let go of this. Their very first home as a married couple turned into a rental property once they outgrew it. Understandably, sprucing it up isn't an option for them right now. The good news is they didn't have to. An army of fellow officers and landscapers showing up without hesitation when the Pfeiffers' realtor, Leslie Pavlich, raised her hand.
I received a call from Jen. It was a tearful conversation, and I knew as soon as I spoke to her and hung up with her that I was going to do whatever I could to help her. Part of my job is not just the selling parts, it's helping clients in need.
Then, help arrived. With rolled sleeves and gardening gloves, everyone got to work. At Brian's side, Jen got a glimpse of the transformation when I called her on FaceTime.
Look.
Wow! That looks amazing!
Everybody say hi.
Hi, Jen. Hi. Take care of Brian. We got you over here.
We can't wait for you to see when this is all done, but we're gonna stay here and work and get it all pretty, and then we'll send you some pictures when it's all done, okay?
The labor, an act of love and support, and getting supplies donated was easy.
They have to deal with their own family things right now. If we could help make this house a little bit better for them, that's a good thing.
It's rewarding. It feels, in law enforcement, it's a tough job, and it's really nice knowing that we have the community backing us and supporting us. It's truly an amazing feeling.
Sergeant Pfeiffer isn't a quitter. His brothers in blue drawing strength from him.
He's fighting it. I mean, he's not giving up one bit. He has 2 beautiful daughters at home. They're younger, and he's showing how to be strong and how to continue to battle each and every single day.
For the Pfeiffers, it's a fight that goes on, and one they'll never have to wage alone.
Stay strong, Brian.
Lindsey Buckingham, Channel 3 News.
Well, that's pretty cool. With the Pfeiffers' battle ongoing, medical bills are piling up for the family. There's a link to a donation page on our website.
It is now 11:18. Betsy, as we said, July, saying goodbye after tomorrow. August, they call it the February of summer.
Is that the
That's
truth?
what some call them, the cusp of something new. That's what to think about.
Oh,
You're in the
that back
cusp of
to
something
school
new.
month. That's what kids are thinking, right?
And there's some schools, like in Indiana, they're already back in school.
Get
we
out.
have cousins
Really?
over there that are back in school. They're on a completely different schedule than we are, but we're just a few weeks out here, and I know the kids
Crazy.
are already thinking two things. Number one, it's getting dark awful early already. That's a bit of a bummer. And number two, 7 a.m. comes awful quick no matter what time the sun sets.
That is
so
true.
yeah, school not so easy to get that transition going. Mostly cloudy, some patchy fog tomorrow morning. 60s as you step out the door. We'll be in the 70s for the afternoon. Can't rule out an isolated rain chance. Still seeing a few showers out around the islands right now. Nothing severe, nothing terribly heavy. Otherwise, it is dry here in northeast Ohio. We expand the picture a little bit, and you can pretty much pick out that there's some kind of a boundary out to the east of us. This is a cold front that swept through. That cold front will continue to be the focus of shower and thunderstorm development east and southeast of us. It's also going to kind of usher in some cooler, drier air slowly. We have a little bit of an unsettled day tomorrow. Clouds hanging around, that isolated rain chance. But overall, things are in a little bit of a change right now from where we have been. We've been dealing with the heat, with the humidity, those temperatures in the 90s a couple weeks ago. Well, the pattern right now is a totally different one that we are dealing with, and you can pick it out. Look at these thunderstorms here in the Rocky Mountain states, and then you kind of see this little dip here over the Great Lakes region, and then we get back out to where that frontal boundary is coming through. This is a trough in the jet stream. Cool air north of us filtering southward, and that dip in the jet stream is going to stay with us. So this is a real big pattern change from where we were 2 weeks ago. If you remember, 2 weeks ago we were talking about the ridge, the dome of hot air, the big bubble of no trouble of hot air, and that is now sitting out over the Four Corners region. And then you get over here into the Great Lakes region, and that dip is present. We're going to hold on to that little bit of a dip, but it's a good one because it does bring us a little bit of a reprieve from summer heat, the dog days of summer, August, Russ Mitchell. But you can see there that kind of troughiness continues here. Even though the big bubble is continuing to try to push to the east, we're really not going to tap into that anytime soon. It's going to get a little bit warmer by the end of the week. Here's a look at how things are going in the hour-by-hour forecast. We'll have some fog around in the morning. I don't think it's going to really prohibit anybody from driving clear and carefree, but I think we'll probably have some light fog in the area in the morning. That will allow a little bit of extra humidity to play with a disturbance moving through, and that could pop a few showers in the afternoon. Overall, the north wind will do its deed, and it's going to keep us a little bit cooler, especially along the lakeshore. We're going to be in the 70s for the afternoon and the evening, but you can see overall those rain chances fade south. Even by late evening, look at this. We're talking temperatures in the 60s. Might be some nice bonfire weather in the backyard. Temperatures in the mid-70s at the start of tomorrow night's Tribe game. That 7:10 start going to be accompanied by a northeasterly breeze. And here's a look at your Universal Windows Direct forecast. Close to 80 for the next couple days. Then we start to see the mercury climbing. By Monday of next week, we peak up in the upper 80s and then fall back into the very comfortable low 80s for next week. Happy August, everybody. Jimmy's up next.
The Sports Report is brought to you by the people pleasing people at Sarah Auto Park in Akron.
Hi again, everybody. It really turns out that the last toss Trevor Bauer made as a member of the Cleveland Indians was the ball he threw over the center field fence Sunday afternoon in Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium. Tonight, he is part of a three-team trade, the Indians, Reds, and Padres, and now Trevor Bauer is a member of the Cincinnati Reds, traded to the Reds tonight. So he's been with the Indians since 2013. Lifetime with the Indians, 67 and 53, 9 and 8 this year with 185 strikeouts, but quirky behavior all the way through his Indians tenure, but unbelievable talent when he was dialed in. And you would have to get a lot in return to trade a pitcher away with the talent of Trevor Bauer when you are locked in a pennant race and a playoff chase, and that's exactly where the Indians are. So here's the deal. From Cincinnati, the Indians get the power-hitting right fielder, Yasiel Puig, who ends up only playing 94 games as a Cincinnati Red, but of course broke in with the Dodgers before that. 22 home runs this year, a big throwing arm out in right field, great speed on the base paths too, but he can run very, very hot as far as his temper is concerned, but he is coming to Cleveland. So is a young outfielder, also a right fielder from the Padres, Franmil Reyes. 2 years with the Padres, 27 home runs this season. He hit 16 in just over 80 games with the Padres last year. He is 23, soon to be 24. He's coming to Cleveland. Also coming, a left-handed pitcher, 22-year-old Logan Allen, just called up to the Padres within the last month. 2-3 on his record this year, 6.75 ERA. You would figure he would go into the Indians rotation. We'll wait and see on that. Here's the breakdown on the entire deal. It goes like this. Puig, Logan Allen, and Franmil Reyes coming to the Indians. Bauer goes to Cincinnati, and the Reds give to Cincinnati Taylor Trammell. There are 2 minor leaguers also coming to the Indians, one from San Diego and one from the Reds. Now, the Indians wanted to get pop, obviously, power in their outfield. They needed power tonight. They lose to the Houston Astros. They only get 2 hits, and they lose by a score of 2-0. Not Shane Bieber's fault. He pitched well again. But in the 5th inning, when we're scoreless, Robinson Chirinos hits a solo home run just over the wall in right. 1-0 Houston. We've seen this a lot, except in our uniform. Michael Brantley slaps one to right field. It looked like initially Naquin had made the catch in right, but they said he trapped it, and he did. The run scored 2-0. Here's the hero of the night, Justin Verlander. 13 strikeouts, only gave up 2 hits. He went 7 innings, and they win. The Twins won 2, so the Indians are 3 back. Game 2 tomorrow. Adam Plutko is on the mound for the Indians. First pitch time is at 7:10. Interesting news breaking today, too. Danny Salazar is going to be activated tomorrow and pitch for the Indians on Thursday. He'll start. First time he's pitched in a major league game for the Indians, or any team, since September 27th back in 2017. He'll go 70 to 75 pitches. The Browns will be back on the practice field tomorrow. We'll end on a great note. The great Otto Graham, the greatest quarterback in the history of the Cleveland Browns, will have a statue in his honor, which will be dedicated the day before the season opener. September 8th, it will be the day before they play the Titans. What a quarterback he was. Whether he wore 60 or number 14, he quarterbacked them in 10 straight championship games.
Wow.
Long overdue.
Fantastic.
Big night.
Big night. Yeah. Thank you, Jimmy.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Betsy, a nice summer day tomorrow?
I think it'll be okay for us. We'll have a few showers in the afternoon, but you'll get through the dry periods just fine, too.
All right. That is good to know.
Thank
you,
you,
Betsy.
my lawn could use some of those wet periods.
Yeah, a lot of house plants and the outdoor plants need a little drink.
Hope tomorrow's a slower day for you, Jim.
Let's hope the Browns practice outdoors tomorrow, 10 to noon. Yeah, that'll be all right.
There we go.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Camp continues. Good night.
Thank you for watching Channel 3 News at 11, the most watched late news in Northeast Ohio.